Halladay may be deceiving. It's not how many hits you get, it's when you get them.
Well, you look at all the batting averages that are right in this area, and it makes you think, well, how are we not scoring runs when this guy's on the mound? I mean, 300, 357, 417. The bottom line, well, that's the number that counts. When I talked about Roy Halladay having that killer instinct and being devastating when he has runners in scoring position, that is why. You might get a single, you might get a double, but scoring off of him is the most difficult task. The Reds have got to come up big with runners in scoring position tonight.
They got 3 earned runs off him in May. What can they do tonight? Vet versus Vet. Arroyo versus Halladay. First pitch around the corner on Fox Sports Ohio.
Farm for auto, home, life, and banking. Get to a better state. By your local Ford dealer. Ford, drive one. By the Regional Tourism Network. Book your trip at CincinnatiUSA.com. And by Skyline Chili. Whenever you're feeling good and hungry, it's Skyline time.
Reds are on the field, and they're ready to face the Phillies for the second straight night. And they will face this lineup from Charlie Manuel. Hero last night, Shane Victorino will lead it off. Polanco in the 2-hole. Middle part of the order, Utley, Howard, and Pence. Raul Ibanez in there tonight. Carlos Ruiz behind the plate. Wilson Valdez in the 8-hole. And Roy Halladay on the mound. Bronson Arroyo, 8 innings pitched, no runs last time out, Cowboy.
Well, and I think that's what the Reds would love to have tonight. And you saw last night, you're going to go pitch for pitch with these Philly pitchers. And you just hope that your offense can pick you up at a certain part in the game.
Tough guy to start the game off with, Shane Victorino. First pitch in there for a strike, and we are underway. 308 average. And, of course, he was the hero last night with that 2-run home run in the 8th inning. Fouled out of play, and Arroyo ahead 0-2.
So amazing about hitting that home run last night is all he had seen up until that point was 92, 94 mile an hour fastballs, and he gets a curveball. First pitch, last at bat, game winner.
Hot shot to Votto, backhander. He'll take it himself, and 1 down. Check out our Ford defensive lineup for tonight. Around the outfield, Fred Lewis gets the start in left. Stubbs in center, Bruce in right. Around the infield, Miguel Cairo, Edgar Renteria, Phillips, Votto, and hanging the sign for Bronson Arroyo tonight is Ryan Hannigan, our Ford defensive lineup.
Hannigan has been behind the plate a whole lot lately.
He certainly has. He started 4 straight games. First time he's done that since '09.
A little issue with the ball off the arm of Ramon Hernandez, and he's having a tough time getting it back.
First pitch swinging is Placido Polanco. Easy play for Jay Bruce. 2 up and 2 down. Ryan Hannigan included in those 4 straight games was that 14-inning affair, which is always tough on a catcher. So he's beat up a little bit, but I tell you what, we'll talk about it in a bit. He's riding a hot bat as well.
Well, not only that's what I was going to say. Not only has he been able to catch a lot, and you would think that would really wear him down, especially this part in the season, because he's not used to catching every day. Heck, he's doing even better since he's been out there on a daily basis.
Of course, he is your usual battery mate for Bronson Arroyo. The two work very well together. Here's Chase Utley. Steps in with a .278 average. 1 for 4 last night and struck out twice. Homer Bailey was mowing him down last night.
Might be one of the best games I've seen him throw. Save 1 pitch.
Yep. 0-1 pitch. Even up 1-1.
And even that pitch, Jim, I think if you throw that pitch 1,000 times, he's going to hit it out of the ballpark that one time. It just happened to be fate.
His 9 strikeouts last night. Bailey ties a season high. There's Homer.
You'd like to see him and Arroyo really finish with a strong September.
2-1 pitch, swung on and missed. We're even up 2-2.
Even with a strong September, no, it's not. It's probably not going to put the Reds in the playoffs. But what it does do is it really gives you an idea and some hope for what this staff can be next year.
Swung on, shot into right field, but Bruce dives for it, doesn't get it. Looked like he had a beat on it. Not sure if he misjudged that ball or not.
I don't think he saw it off the bat.
Take a look on the replay. It was a kind of a weird path he took towards the ball.
Looked like he hesitated for a moment and then started to make his move. Well, once he got a chance to make the move, it's a little bit too late. You don't normally see that out of Jay.
Well, it could have been a 1-2-3 inning, and now with Utley standing at first, you got to deal with Ryan Howard. Sitting on 99 RBIs on the season. And he's one of those hitters when you hold him for an offer, like he went 0 for 4 last night with 2 strikeouts. Next night he's coming to hit.
It's amazing his splits when there's nobody on base and when there's just a runner on first. Even if it's 2 outs, it doesn't matter. Just having somebody on, boy, it turns him up a little bit.
Arroyo's falling behind 2-0.
There you go, right there. 216 with nobody on. 281 with runners on. Go figure.
That's just the mark of a player, man. You're clutch. You're big time when you have stats like that.
Game on.
All about hitting with those runners on. Fouls it back. By the way, they ruled that Utley play a hit. So Utley on first, 2 down here in the top of the first. If you're just joining us, Jim Day sitting in the chair tonight alongside Jeff Brantley. Glad you could join us for Reds baseball. Philadelphia Phillies 84-46 on the season. Best record in baseball. There goes Utley. Swung on. Fly ball into short left field. Fred Lewis has a beat on it for the 3rd out. Phillies get nothing. Reds coming to bat. And Dusty Baker will do so with this lineup. Brandon Phillips leading off. Renteria in the 2-hole tonight. Middle part of the order, Votto, Bruce, and Cairo back in there at third base. Stubbs, Lewis, Hannigan, and Bronson Arroyo. Time now for the Farmers Insurance Report Card, and it has to do with Roy Halladay. Career numbers, well, let's just say Cowboys pretty good.
The only thing coming into this ball game that would be a deterrent for Roy Halladay is the fact that he's had a couple of extra days rest with the weather down in Florida, pushing back his start, and really all of the Phillies starters start, but he's pitching on an extra 2 days rest, and sometimes it can make you a little bit rusty, whether that's in the early part of the game or the end part of the game. You never know. We thought the same thing about Cole Hamels after not pitching since August 12th, and he looked like Cy Young last night.
First pitch to Phillips in there for a strike. Last 2 seasons, Halladay's ERA with more than 5 days rest, 5.21. So let's hope that rust, what you're talking about, continues tonight. Phillips, one of the hottest Reds hitters, swings and stays hot. 13-game hit streak now for Brandon Phillips, and that is the longest by a Red this season. Here's your 4 defensive lineup for the Phillies. Ibanez, Victorino, Pence around the outfield. Polanco, Valdez, Utley, and Howard in the infield. Hanging the signs for Roy Halladay, Carlos Ruiz.
See Wilson Valdez there at shortstop. He has played shortstop for a while since Jimmy Rollins has been out with a groin injury. They expect him back sometime in the middle of September.
How about that? Add Jimmy Rollins to the lineup. Right now you're 6.5 games in front of the Atlanta Braves. How would you like to be the Braves, even though they're in the wild card league? 79-54 and 6.5 games back. That's how good the Phillies are. Renteria 0 for 4 last night, looking for his first hit in the series. There goes Phillips. Swung on, fly ball center field. Phillips is going to have to go back. 1 down.
And he had it stolen, too.
He sure did.
A big jump by Phillips. This is not something that the Phillies normally have to deal with, because they're such a good pitching ball club. Very rarely do you see runners on base taking advantage of the speed of their speed and running, stealing bases. But that's really what it takes to beat this club. You've got to push the envelope.
So here's Votto, first pitch outside. 323 season, 26 home runs, 87 RBIs. And again, like Ryan Howard, 0 for last night, even though he did have an RBI ground out. He'll be ready to hit tonight.
Well, he had a big chance last night with later in the ball game, and ended up with 2 outs and ended up grounding out, and that would have been a chance for the Reds to take the lead, or at least tie the ball game at that moment. Could have taken the lead.
Tall's numbers versus Halladay: 357, 5 for 14. Has a home run in there. But as we showed you at the top of the show, it's when you get them.
And that's the thing about it. You can't just put it all on this guy, Joey Votto.
2-1 pitch, misses downstairs, and Votto ahead 3-1.
You look at Brandon Phillips. He's swinging about as good as he's hit the ball all year long. The same way with Votto right now. Same way with Ryan Hannigan. But you've got to have some other guys to step up.
And he walked him. So the Reds in business here. 2 on, only 1 out. And Cowboy, you talked about Roy Halladay not pitching as much of late because of the rainouts, games they missed of Hurricane Irene, and this is when you want to take advantage of it before he gets in his groove.
And Jim, it really has to happen if you're going to beat this ball club. You got to get out in front early and put the pressure back on them.
Jay Bruce steps in, 1 for 4 last night. 28 home runs on the season and 85 RBIs. He himself, 333 hitter. Off of Roy Halladay, 5 for 15. Also has a home run. That was a game-winning home run off of Roy Halladay, one of the few times the Reds have defeated him. In fact, the only time. 1-1 in his career versus the Reds. But in May, the Reds got 11 hits off of him. Matt Sigafus all over it. June 30th last year. Jay Bruce going downtown. Roy Halladay, he doesn't have to see that very often. 2-1 pitch. There's a drive. Is it fair? Just foul. Just foul.
Got that ball up and middle in, and Jay jumped all over it. But he got out in front just a tad early, and that's what hooked it foul. You can see where he made contact. It was well out in front of the plate.
Halladay steps off. 2 on, 1 out. In the bottom of the first. It's trying to dent that scoreboard. Here he comes. A full. Last time out for Halladay was a no decision. It's on the 21st at Washington. Went only 5 innings. Gave up 2 earned runs. The 2-time Cy Young Award winner, including last year, the reigning Cy Young Award winner, trying to find his groove. Swing and a miss, and he gets Jay Bruce his first strikeout of the night.
On a ball 4.
And we've seen that so many times that has been a problem for Jay Bruce.
If they know, if the other side knows that you're going to swing no matter what, if it's close, well, they're not going to throw it over the plate. And you're exactly right. We have seen that way too many times.
So here's Miguel Cairo, the hero on Friday night. Walk-off win against the Washington Nationals. He's got 2 aboard out there with 2 down. 4 for 5 this season versus the Phillies. And there for a strike. We're even up 1-1.
If you're Roy Halladay in that situation, 3-2 with Bruce at the plate, you're not trying to throw a pitch that's in the heart of the plate. You're trying to throw a swing pitch, because if you walk him, you've got 2 right-handers in a row that you think you can strike out.
Ground ball and a nice play by Halladay, and he gets out of it. Red Strand 2, scoreless after 1. lawyers for serious injuries. Return imminent. Talking about the Gold Glover Scott Rowland out with arthroscopic shoulder surgery. Everything going according to plan and targeting a return in September. My question to you, Jeff Brandley, should you just shut him down the rest of the year? You bring him back? Do you want to continue to see the youngsters at third base? How would you play it?
I think you let Scott push as though he's coming back and play it as though he's coming back. Just see how it comes around. There's no reason to just say to the team, well, he's not going to play anymore, because every time that happens, it affects the team adversely.
Swing and a miss by Hunter Pence. Call 1-800-ELK, Ohio.
I mean, every time it seems as though Scott, well, they say, okay, Scott's going to be on the DL for the next 2 weeks, and it's like the team goes into the doldrums. Don't tell him.
Well, whether he's in the lineup, out of the lineup, when he's in the dugout and you see him talking to someone, there is nothing better for a youngster.
You got it. You got it.
One of the best baseball minds in the game, certainly a leader, albeit a quiet one. That guy knows baseball. And after one high air,
this would be the tomahawk chop. Hiya.
What was that?
Hiya.
I like it. Hunter Pence is hitting 7 straight versus Cincinnati. Fouls it back. He's no stranger, of course, coming over in that deadline deal from the Houston Astros. It was one of those deals. It's like, man, the rich keep getting richer, as if the Phillies weren't loaded enough.
Well, I think the Phillies have set their minds on one thing and one thing only. And anything short of a World Series championship is missing the boat.
That one high. We're even up 2-2. Well, they've certainly got it all. They've got a pitching staff that your radio partner, Marty Brennaman, the Hall of Famer, says in his 38 years is the best top to bottom that he has seen, which is saying something. And they've got a lineup that can get it done. Three-two pitch. Fly ball right field. This time Bruce has an eye on it, and one down. Tonight's Mega Millions jackpot is $21 million. I said 21 million biggins. Brought to you by the Ohio Lottery. Play today. Might have to stop on the way home. Just saying. Although, when do they draw that? 21 million. Someone's going to be happy. 11 o'clock tonight, I am told, by our astute producer, Christian Roberts. So as long as we don't go 19 innings, last time against Halliday, I'll have a shot. One out for Raul Ibanez, and Arroyo ahead 0-2. Ibanez did not play last night.
This is where Ibanez has hurt the Reds. He gets behind in the count, 0-2, 1-2, and that's when he's hit the ball the hardest.
Ibanez missed 3 games last week with the left groin strain. Has not started a game since the 21st of August. He's back in there tonight. The 1-2 pitch.
Surprised he didn't call timeout there. He stayed in the box for a long time while Hannigan went through all 17 signs and pitches that Arroyo throws. Good pitch.
Popped up. Cairo in foul territory, and 2 up and 2 down.
Throwing that slider up and in, and then came back with the changeup down and away. Works every time.
You mentioned the many signs that Bronson Arroyo gets from Ryan Hannigan. We look at the last pitch. And he has so many arm angles. Throws it from so many different slots. That's not something that Hannigan calls, is it? That's just Arroyo on his own, correct?
That's Arroyo on his own, but the pitch is what, or the speed is what Hannigan needs to know, and whether it's a breaking ball, changeup, or a fastball.
Carlos Ruiz steps in. 1 for 3 last night.
As long as you're a catcher and you know that it's curveball versus slider or fastball versus changeup, you can catch the ball.
And Arroyo's one of those pitchers where we've seen Hannigan catch the majority of the time for Arroyo. It's one of those things you got to get used to. You got to know exactly what you're talking about, when it's coming, where it's coming from, the speed it's coming from.
And I think that's one of the reasons that Hannigan catches Arroyo pretty much every time.
Arroyo ahead 1-2.
And it's not a, you know, I think folks like to put the personal catcher tag to it. I don't know that that's it as much as it is the fact that Arroyo feels comfortable with Hannigan, and Hannigan has a pretty good idea about where the ball's going when it comes out of Arroyo's hand.
Popped up. Phillips has it, and a 1-2-3 second for Arroyo. We're scoreless at GABP.
And every time you face him, it's a battle, and you know, just try to get a good pitch to hit and hit it. You know, it's tough to have a real game plan off of him just because he can throw anything, anytime, anywhere. So you try to get the best pitch you can, and if he makes a mistake, try to capitalize on it.
Our Geico quote of the night: Jay Bruce, Joey Votto, two of the best of friends, having to face, if not the best pitcher in the game. He's certainly in that short sentence. What do you do if you're a hitter, Cowboy? Beyond pray before the game.
Oh, I don't know. Take 2 and bunt.
Drew Stubb standing in.
Sorry. I think you have to decide against Roy Halladay. You have to split the plate in half and decide which side you're going to hit. most likely the pitch away.
Well, I talked to Dusty Baker before the game, and he talked about Roy Halladay, and I asked him, hey, it's intimidating when you face the Cy Young Award winner from last year, maybe the best pitcher in the game, but does it help your confidence at all that you got hits off of him last time, 3 earned runs, and he came right back and said, you know what, I always study the other dugout of the opposing team, and Roy Halladay is one of those guys that gets it. He is always studying. He is always looking at hitters. He will make adjustments tonight, and the Reds should not expect to see the same type of approach that they saw last time out.
He changes with every pitch, where there are some other pitchers that change every year.
Stubbs fly ball center field. Victorino has it, and 1 down. Get ready for Reds action 30 minutes before every game with the Emmy Award-winning Reds live on Fox Sports Ohio. Interviews, in-depth features, and the world-famous Tech Talk series. That's Reds Live, presented by Ray St. Clair Roofing.
Big league players and pitchers, regardless of whether you're a position player or a pitcher, you need to be able to adjust from pitch to pitch. If you adjust from year to year, you're never going to make it. You're never going to get any better. Because if you're adjusting from year to year, that means you just changed one little thing that you were doing wrong, and that was all you did. Well, up here, as you well know, they just figured that out in spring training.
Certainly did. Fred
on
Lewis
the first day.
Yeah, Fred Lewis down 0-2. You know, Dusty talked about you can look at the dugout of some pitchers. Fred Lewis, 3 pitches and sit down.
Backdoor breaking ball starts off the plate and comes right back to the outside corner. You can see the hand, you can see the spin on the ball. And the thing about this pitch is it's not tremendously a snapping breaking ball. The ball starts right off the edge and barely breaks towards the corner, but it goes down a good 6 inches.
Here's Ryan Hannigan, one of the hottest Red hitters. Last 8 starts. How about a .536 average? 3 home runs, 8 RBIs in his last 8. 2 for 3 last night, scored a run. Goes to work with 2 outs here in the second. That one foul. And getting back to that point, Dusty said he studies the other pitchers or other players in the other dugout. Some guys are goofing around, some pitchers are goofing around. They're not paying attention. But Roy Halladay is one of those guys that is charting pitches. He keeps a log of teams. He is always studying the game, and that is due in part to why he's one of the best pitchers in the game. And back-to-back strikeouts, both of them looking. Reds and Phils scoreless. and that means another $25 from the Shakely Group for the Reds Community Fund. Shakely, it's done. Jim Day, the Cowboy Jeff Brantley with you, and our pleasure to welcome into the booth one of the newest Columbus Blue Jackets, James Wisniewski, about ready to get going here. Nice to meet you, man. How you doing?
Nice to meet you, Jim. I'm doing great. How are you?
Doing good. Welcome to the Fox Sports Ohio family. We're dysfunctional at times, however. That's glad to have you.
I love it.
So
work it.
You came over. The Blue Jackets traded for your rights, and then signed you to a big deal. Got to be excited.
Absolutely. Obviously, with 5 one-year deals in a row, be able to get settled in, and with an organization ready to go on the incline and become a Stanley Cup contending team here.
Well, the blue line is certainly something that I know fans wanted upgraded a bit as we look at the new jacket numbers. And you are a guy that's a right-handed shot, desperately needed on the blue line for Columbus. You're a power play guy. Blue Jackets can use that. It's got to send a message to the players that this organization is excited about winning, and winning right now.
Absolutely. Obviously, with the acquisition of Jeff Carter, and then trading for my rights, a week later, and signing me, a couple hours before I turned under free agent, just shows that they're ready to become a winning franchise. They're not content in just going out there and throwing their sticks on the ice. They want to become a winning organization, and they're making some moves to do that.
Defenseman, tell me about being a defenseman for those of us that are hockey new people.
Well, obviously there's 3 forwards and 2 defensemen and a goalie on the ice at all times.
I do know that part.
Other than obviously the special teams. But I become a power play guy the last year or so, and I've tried to put up points, try to help offensively, but obviously my main goal is to keep the puck out of the net and help our goalie Mason out, and do my best to contribute defensively, and then obviously offensively as well.
Well, I was looking at your website on the Blue Jackets, and they have a picture they have your picture obviously that we saw, but they also have video of you coming across the ice and just annihilating another guy on the other team. Is that part of it too?
That's part. Yeah, I try to be an open ice hitter. I've gotten in trouble a couple times with suspensions for head hits, but I just kind of I try to do my thing and try to.
That's the one I saw.
Right, yeah, I try to do that as much as possible. I've had some success against Columbus when I was in Chicago, but hopefully maybe it was just the rink. Maybe come back in Columbus Blue Jacket Nationwide Arena and keep things rolling.
Well, you are an instant legend in Blue Jackets land, because I remember a little tussle you had with Jordan Tutu, and you came out on the good end big time. And Jordan Tutu, let's face it, not really liked around these parts.
That's what I heard. He's not a fan favorite.
No, not a fan
in Columbus. No. So, well, we're in Cincinnati, but in Columbus. But sometimes you just have to do what you have to do, and that's part of my game as well, is to stick up for teammates, and if I have to throw the gloves down, then so be it.
Solid. I like that.
Fire up the Cowboy.
That's
here.
right.
Hey, as Halliday goes to work against his counterpart Bronson Arroyo with 1 out here in the 3rd, let's talk about when you guys open. Preseason gets started Tuesday, September 20th. Split squad game. I like the sound of this, against the Winnipeg Jets.
Winnipeg Jets.
They're back, and we love that. And opening night, Friday, October 7th, against those dreaded Nashville Predators. Single game tickets for all Blue Jacket home games go on sale Saturday, September 10th at 10 a.m. at the Nationwide Arena box office, all Ticketmaster outlets, and BlueJackets.com, as Cairo bobbles it but makes the play for the second out in the inning. You can also call 800-745-3000. You've played a Nationwide Arena. Fans are good. You looking forward to it?
Absolutely. It's a sports city. Hopefully we can, start putting some wins on the board and, obviously make a run for the playoffs. That's our #1 goal. And when you get in there, you could see Philadelphia a couple years ago, the 7th seed, making it to the Stanley Cup Finals. Anything can happen. So you can run into a hot goalie, and, right now with the acquisitions that we made, we have plenty of tools to do that.
Well, speaking of playing and athletic moves, how did the pitch go today? Did you make it to the plate, or did you hum the thing over the?
Absolutely. I mean, it was a little inside. I thought somebody was in there. I was going to brush him back, and hopefully he was going to charge the mound. So
that's
right
what
there,
I like that.
Hopefully he charges the mound.
That's right. Run that baby right up under
That's
their
right.
chin.
So. Nobody was there, but I was just thinking somebody would have been.
That's good. I like that.
I couldn't do any worse than the mayor of Cincinnati.
No doubt. No doubt.
Nice reference.
If I would have got it within the batter's box, I was fine, because you know what? I would not have been the laughing stock of Cincinnati.
Well, you're an American guy.
That's correct.
You said, hey, Milwaukee's doing a number on people. How much of a baseball fan are you?
I'm pretty big. Baseball was my favorite sport growing up.
Really?
Yeah. Even though I'm a hockey player, so hopefully people don't hold that against me. So
no.
It's just America's pastime, and I just grew up playing baseball my whole life.
Canton, Michigan, is that right?
Canton, Michigan. That's correct. Sometimes people get it confused with Canton, Ohio, but that's right by Ann Arbor. So I get a lot of grief for being down here about being a Wolverine fan. I am not a Wolverine fan. So I would really hope that people don't key my car.
You're not a Wolverine fan.
No.
Key my car.
Nice. Do not key my cars, please. I am not a Wolverine fan. Leave my cars alone.
You are making friends all around instantly. If we look at some footage of you earlier. How was it shagging balls out there, putting on a Major League uniform?
It was great. Just to fulfill a little childhood dream, and to be able to go out there and hang out with the guys. The guys are great, and it was a pleasure.
1, 2, 3 inning for Arroyo. James Wisniewski, go get him, man.
Thanks, Jim Day.
Good to see you, pal.
Cowboy, is a pleasure.
Take care, man.
Thank you very much.
I think he just dropped a thanks Jim Day on me. Making friends all around. We're scoreless at GABP. Toyota signed during tonight's game Marvin Snodgrass of Fort Thomas, Kentucky, who currently owns a 2007 Prius, will win this beautiful new Tundra on display here at Great American Ballpark. Register for your chance to win at an upcoming game by seeing your Cincinnati and Northern Kentucky Toyota dealer. We are on to the bottom of the third, and the double flapped helmet Bronson Arroyo steps in.
It's amazing how the games go when you've got pitchers throwing strikes and then have a game plan about what they want to do when they get out there.
Two veterans. Last night's game was flying, man. It was a pitcher's duel for sure. And at least on the early going here, we've got one brewing again. Each team with just one hit. Strike three call, and the fourth of the night for Roy Halladay. Third in a row. Hey, Reds fans, it's Ticket Tuesday. Log on to Reds.com tonight and purchase a ticket for the September 16th game versus the Brewers. You'll get a special meet and greet with some dork named Jim Day and Jeff Pecoro before the game at the Reds live set on the main concourse third base side. And that's going to be fun. Sections 103 and 104. Just $12 a ticket. That's a $10 savings off the regular ticket price. And I will personally promise you that Jeff and I will be sitting in that section for a great deal of the game. It's a Reds live night at GABP, and I am calling all Jaminians, as they call themselves in Twitterland.
Jaminians.
They call themselves the Jaminians.
I like that.
Well, we call the people that on the post-game set that show up and go crazy after wins, we call them the Minions.
Right.
And then someone coined the phrase Jaminians, which I accepted.
Well, there's quite a few down there, quite a whole lot of few.
Reds country loves to get excited after wins. Let's hope that
You can't get excited after a win. You can't get excited.
Phillips ground ball to short. Valdez deep in the hole. A nice play.
That is where Valdez has helped this Philly ball club leaps and bounds. Being able to get to balls like that. I don't even know that Jimmy Rollins can still get to that type of ball that deep in the hole, backhand it set, and still make that strong of a throw. That's a heck of a play.
Really is. I mean, you got Jimmy Rollins out, and you can put Wilson Valdez in there. Even though he has 4 errors in just 13 games, he can certainly make the tough play like he did just there. So 2 outs for Edgar Renteria. Flew out in the first, and he's down 0-2.
Not a whole lot of waiting around when the guys are throwing strikes. And both Arroyo and Halladay have been throwing a whole lot of strikes.
Now, when you were out there, now obviously you were a closer for much of your career. You wanted to work fast, didn't you?
Oh, yeah. Well, the thing that I did before every ball game, and this was way before I ever came in, I went over with the catcher what I wanted to do with each hitter myself before the game ever started. So I took care of my stuff just like a starter would. And when I came into the ball game, I mean, they pretty much already knew what we were going to do. Boom, boom, boom.
Well, I know the defenders appreciate it, and I know the television crew does as well when they work fast. That one falls out of play just beyond the reach of Hunter Pence.
My theory was I'm going to get you or you're going to get me, but we're going to do it quick and we're going to eat.
Is that what you told your battery mate? I mean, we're going to get it done. We're going to eat. We're going to get it done and then eat.
Get it done, and then we're going in there to crush.
Sort of like you crushed those fried chicken tonight. We'll talk about that here in a bit. Ground ball to Utley, and a 1-2-3 third for Halladay. Zeros on the board on Fox Sports Ohio.
proudly serving America's restaurants, schools, retailers, and our military around the world. JTM Food Group. By your Cincinnati and Northern Kentucky Toyota dealers. For a dealer near you, visit buyatoyota.com. By Geico, 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. Visit us at geico.com or call 1-800-947-AUTO. And by Powerade Ion 4. Focus, hustle, hydrate, believe.
Second straight night, pitchers duel a Bruin. First pitch strike to Placido Polanco as Arroyo goes to work here in the top of the fourth. Polanco flew out to right his first time up in the first. And Arroyo ahead 0-2. Fried chicken tonight in the media room. And Cowboy, it was a two-plate kind of night for you, was it not? You crushed it, as you would say.
That would be correct. I like fried chicken. No, I love fried chicken.
It seems to put you in a good mood, which I like.
What are you saying?
I'm saying that I need you tonight. I need you in a good mood. So I was happy to see that fried chicken.
Then you bring me 8 scoops to go with it. I'll be ready to go.
You know what? The Reds win. I was thinking it's more of a 16 scoop night.
You going to join me?
I don't know, man. I'm trying to work on the boiler. There's a drive to left field, but right at Fred Lewis. And one down. Check out our AT&T trivia question of the night. Of course, the Phillies came to town with 4 starters in this 4-game series, with all sub 2.8 ERAs. What was the last team with 3 qualifying pitchers with an ERA under 2.80? Chew on that one a bit. As Cole Hamels was the guy that got it done last night. 6 innings of work straight off the disabled list. I did not get this question right off the bat.
The trivia question?
I did not. My first 2 guesses
I would
were
say
a couple of obvious ones.
I would say Baltimore. That would have been my guess.
That was one of my guesses. Early 70s. Is that who you're talking? You going way back then? But of course, this question is the last team with 3 players.
Oh, the last
team, yes.
Oh,
the last one to do it. So Baltimore may very well have been an answer to that question, but the last team.
More recent.
That was a little bit of a hint there.
Okay. Baltimore definitely hadn't done it recently.
No.
So that would be a no.
Yeah. Think National League. Second clue. I'm done now.
Would they be towards the southeastern area of the United States?
That was my second guess. We are on the same page. But we'll find out.
Well, I guess it's not Atlanta either.
Middle of the order. Arroyo's dealing with now. Ryan Howard on deck. Chase Utley up at the plate. And Utley ahead 3-1. 3-1 pitch. Fouled back. Been a lot of fans making good catches this year. Have you noticed like an abundance of great catches by fans?
We just got some more athletic groups here.
Someone made a good catch right below us. Three-two payoff pitch. Popped it up. Hannigan giving chase, but it'll fall out of play.
Well, those are the ones as a pitcher. You get the pop up that's way off to the left, and then the next pitch, you get him to swing at a pitch off the plate, and it's popped up right over by the dugout, and you're thinking, oh, please. You want to limit the amount of pitches that you have to throw to a guy like Utley or to a guy like Mr. Howard, who is standing on deck.
Utley with the only hit for the Phillies so far. And he walked him.
Reds fans, if you're in the restaurant industry, let JTM Food Group help you with great tasting products for your menu. Inspired solutions, better results. That's JTM.
And JTM, a big old shout out to them tonight, because they fed not only the crew tonight, some of the stadium workers, they take care of the police officers, some of the EMT workers. They were frying them burgers down there.
They're bringing it on with it.
Come on, Dickie Moss. There he is eating. Audio extraordinaire. He's been on Reds broadcast for so long. He deserves some JTM. There's a hot shot down the right field line, but foul. Woo! So Howard 0 for 1. Flew out to right to end the first inning. And 0 for 5 now in the series.
I think that's one of the issues with Howard that makes him so dangerous, with Shane Victorino, Polanco, and Utley in front of him. All three can run well. With them at first base and him at the plate, if he pulls one down the right field line, they've got a chance to score.
And Bronson's listening to you because he's trying to keep Utley close. The Phillies team doesn't steal many bases, and they don't bunt very often. Obviously, you're not going to ask Ryan Howard to bunt in this situation, but they are not a station-to-station team, if you will, as far as stolen bases and bunting goes. Deep drive, right field. Does Bruce have room? He does not. Two-run home run. Home run number 28 on the season for Ryan Howard, and RBIs 100 and 101.
And he has now broken the Phillies' all-time consecutive seasons with 100 RBI record. 6 in a row. That baby was right down Broadway.
It certainly was. And again, when you hold a guy like that hitless, he's bound to get you at some point. Ground ball to short. Renteria gets it and gets Hunter Pence. What a pretty swing.
Arroyo trying to get that in there just a little bit more than what he did. And you can see the ball there, Jim. That ball was not hit on the good part of the bat. It was hit down towards his hands. But with the strength of Howard and the fact that he got it up in the strike zone, he just elevated it, and the ball just carried right on out of the ballpark. There's a little bit of breeze blowing that way towards the moon deck. And with a ball like that, even with Jay Bruce, he didn't give up on it until right at the last second.
Ryan Howard now, his 6th straight 100 RBI season, a new Phillies record. Long history of the Phillies, and they've had some good ball players. As Ibanez shoots one down the left field line, but Lewis gets there in a hurry and holds him to a single. Nice play by Lewis there. But the 4th inning continues for the Phillies.
Another pitch up in the zone by Arroyo, and Ibanez just slaps it the other way. No chance for Cairo whatsoever. But you're right, Jim. Lewis got to that ball in a hurry and made a very strong throw to second base. I think Ibanez was thinking too as he came out of the box, and he's going to have to settle for a single.
2 down, 1 on. Carlos Ruiz popped out in the 2nd. Arroyo looking for damage control here in the 4th. Ball 1. He likes to hit against the Reds this season, at least. .412 on the year. Bronson needs to keep him close here. 2 runs might be the max you get off of a guy like Roy Halladay, who seems to be in a groove. 2-0 the count. Up high. The Royals behind 3-0.
Well, I think the 1-0 pitch was a fastball down and away, and Bronson wanted that pitch for a strike, and he didn't get the call. Kind of throws you out of your rhythm.
3-0 pitch, and he loses him. So 2 outs and 2 on now for Wilson Valdez. Valdez, he did strike out in the third looking. It was 2 for 3 last night. RBI and a run. And he's reached base in 15 straight appearances. So in the 8 hole, you're dealing with this Phillies team. You better bring it 1 through 8. There's not a break.
No, there's not, especially when Jimmy Rollins is in this lineup. And the thing that you're going to have to do here with Valdez is you're going to really have to make sure that you guard against him just shooting the ball into right field. We saw him try to do that a couple of times last night against Homer Bailey.
Ground ball third. Cairo will go to second for the 3rd out. But the Phillies get 2. A 2-run home run off the bat of Ryan Howard. November 17th for Johnny Bench Night. Join the Reds in honoring the legendary catcher with an unveiling of a bronze statue outside the Reds Hall of Fame and a pregame first pitch by the Hall of Famer himself. For tickets, call 513-381-REDS or visit reds.com/benchnight. There's the greatest catcher of all time. Photo, a replica of what the statue is going to look like. We've showed you a feature all season long updating you on the progress of that statue, and it's going to be something. That's going to be a big time night right there. Tom Tashia is the artist. He, of course, sculptor on the statues that are already out there at Crossley Terrace. Johnny Bench one is going to look good. JB night. Can't wait for that. Let's fill up the yard with the greatest catcher of all time.
That'd be big time.
He deserves it. Joey Votto, bouncer to second. Easy play for Utley, 1 down.
All of those pitches to Votto there between the knees and the ankles. Either flat run or sinking run. I mean, he's not elevating the ball at all. Talking about Roy Halladay.
Well, he's retired 9 straight batters. And Jay Bruce steps in after striking out in the first.
When you work quick and you pound the strike zone the way Halladay is now, that umpire behind home plate is almost on autopilot.
Home plate umpire tonight, Ron Kolpa. Darrell Cousins at first base. Jim Wolf, second base umpire. DJ Rayburn was calling the balls and strikes last night. He's the third tonight. And I would imagine if you're a home plate umpire, you dig seeing Roy Halladay on the mound against a guy like Bronson Arroyo, who's the quickest worker the Reds got.
Right. Well, you like a pitcher that works quick anyway, and especially one that can throw strikes with a variety of pitches.
Foul back. Halladay's good at home. He is good on the road. Second lowest career road ERA amongst active pitchers. So a hitter's ballpark like Great American Ballpark does not faze this guy. Chopper. Utley underhand. 2 down.
Come for the Reds, stay for more fun. Visit the new Penguin Palooza exhibit at Newport Aquarium and make it a weekend getaway. Book your trip at CincinnatiUSA.com. And I have seen the Penguin Palooza along with my children, and it is quite comedic to watch the penguins push each other into the water.
I actually was in the Penguin Palooza exhibit, part of the Cincinnati USA commercials.
Really?
I got to hold a few of those penguins. It was a great experience.
They didn't like nail you or like.
They did not. They were very nice. No, they did not. It was a great experience. Newport Aquarium taking care of us.
Who ties their ties?
That would be their handler. It might be Chris Welsh, actually.
They all look
This is Tuesday, and we don't have a bow tie on, so we're letting the lefty down tonight.
They all look like they have on tuxes, so I just thought maybe you might know who was tying their ties.
CincinnatiUSA.com. Log on there. If you events around Cincinnati, they got some great deals on. And I'm not just saying that because I'm a member of their commercials. They do a great job
to do. If you come here, it's not just about coming to the ball game. You come to a ball game and you got plenty of other things that you can go along with your weekend or an extended stay.
Come for the Reds, stay for the fun, as they say. Had a lot of fun doing their commercials this year. Got to do a lot of cool stuff. Rode the BB riverboats, Cleopatra exhibit. Went to the zoo. Saw the fastest cheetah ever recorded.
It's very solid. My kids love the zoo here.
Got to feed the giraffes. Had a little bit of a bad experience with one of the monkeys. This Halladay gets.
You're not supposed to get. You're supposed to stay out of the cage, Jim.
Well, I'll explain that when we come back. Let's get connected with Fox Sports Ohio Game Connect, the ultimate second screen experience. FoxSportsOhio.com. Presented by 1-800-SAFE-AUTO and SafeAuto.com. Check out our Honda standings. And Philadelphia 84-46. 6.5 games clear of the Braves. Braves are solidly in that wild card spot right now. But getting it done. First pitch swinging is Roy Halladay. Torria with the first out of the inning. I got a question for you, Kevin.
Lay it on me.
They've talked about adding another wild card team. You look at the National League standings. Philadelphia has a 6.5 game cushion. Milwaukee a 10.5 game cushion. And Arizona with a 5 game cushion. There's not a race to be had in there right now. So adding a second wild card team, I know when they first added the wild card, they had the old timers or the purists kicking and screaming. But would it not add some excitement down the stretch?
You know,
what's your opinion?
I'm torn on that, simply because I think that if you start adding more and more teams into the playoff atmosphere, I think it takes away from the regular season, and then it makes it all about just the postseason, and nothing is to be gained by winning the regular season. And that is what this game of baseball is all about, is being the champion of the 162 game season. The wild card is second place, and now you're talking about bringing in a third place team. I don't know if I can go for that.
Victorino is going to get 2 out of this one. So a 9 game hit streak at Great American Ballpark for Shane Victorino.
Looked like a pitch that was away, but not down and away. Arroyo wanted that pitch much lower than what he got it, and that was about mid-thigh, and that's exactly what Victorino wanted, just a pitch he could reach out there and slap right over the head of the shortstop, Edgar Renteria.
So a runner in scoring position with 1 out, and Polanco standing in. Flew out twice in this game. I'm kind of torn on that wild card thing too. I really am. But perhaps if you reward the division winners and maybe have maybe an off week, maybe a 3-game series between the wild card teams to qualify.
You would have to, it would have, for me, it would have to be an awfully big reward for the regular season champion, and a big detriment for the others. And I don't know how you do that.
Well, they've even talked about a 1-game playoff. They're throwing around all kinds of ideas. And they're talking about major realignment as well.
I would be more for the major realignment than I would be for adding the extra playoff teams.
How would you line them up? Small market, big market, geographically? How would you do it?
It would not be geographically. It would be small market, big market, and do it as geographically as close as I could do it.
A lot on the plate of the commissioner of baseball. Try to keep excitement in the game.
Well, I think that if you have certain amounts of teams that can only reach a certain threshold of payroll, and you put all of those teams together and have a league of those teams playing for a championship, I think you're going to increase your attendance more.
Fly ball center field. In right center field, Stubbs has got it. And tagging and going to third base, throw not in time. So Victorino advances to third base with 2 down now in the inning, and Chase Utley standing in. still trying to keep that deficit at 2. This would be a big at-bat in the game. Mr. Roy Halladay on the hill.
Well, you saw the numbers earlier of what one Ryan Howard hits with runners on base. Well, if you walk Chase Utley, those numbers only get better with 2 men on.
First pitch swinging. Cairo in foul territory, and a big out for Arroyo. Phillies strand 1, Reds down by 2. By Meyer. What National League team will make it through to the World Series? Who you got? Text 1 for the Phillies, 2 for the Brewers, 3 for the Diamondbacks, 4 for the Braves, or text 5 for the Giants. Text your answer to 37664. Standard text message rates apply. Stubbs leading off. Deep shot to center field, but Victorino has room, and 12 straight retired by Roy Halladay. Who you got, Cowboy? Are we looking at that team?
I think the Reds are playing that team.
Yep.
And I would not count out the Diamondbacks if I was anybody.
Well, we saw early on in this season that they meant business this year.
Well, they've got some pitching, and they're definitely swinging the bats. They're playing much better fundamental baseball than what they were earlier.
If it stays as it is right now, the National League playoffs are going to be very intriguing this year.
They are,
because you got this Phillies team with the great pitching. I mean, let's not count out the Braves either. They can bring it.
Yep.
And Milwaukee has just been as hot as can be. Did he get it?
It's fan interference.
He did get it. A nice play by Polanco to retire Fred Lewis. Fought off a fan to do it.
It looked as though that fan, well, yeah, he was trying to reach for the ball. I don't think he even saw Polanco coming.
Guy even had a glove in there.
Yeah.
Nice gesture by Polanco right there. A lot of players get angry at that situation, but he made sure the fan was okay.
Well, that's just the kind of person Placido Polanco is. He was a very young youngster when I was in St. Louis in 98, excuse me.
Ryan Hannigan steps in. And most of you agree with us. This Phillies team is going to be the team to beat in the National League. Of course, the Giants, the reigning World Series champions, trying to defend. But they got to get there first. They're 5 back of Arizona. 13 in a row retired by Roy Halladay. The going has been tough. Only 1 hit for Cincinnati.
What amazes me about this whole issue is that Milwaukee has hit the ball so good consistently throughout this whole year. I don't know that you can just flat count them out simply because the Phillies have great pitching or the Braves have great pitching, because the pitching for the Brewers may not match up 1-for-1 with either one of those teams from the East, but they're good enough to carry with that offense.
Strike 3 called, 6th of the night for Halladay, and 14 in a row he's put down.
September 16th for the next Free Agent Friday, presented by Mint Martini. Enjoy $4 beer specials, a trivia contest, and music from DJ Saab on the New York Life music stage in the Fan Zone. Then cheer on your Reds when they face the Milwaukee Brewers. For tickets, call 513-381-REDS or visit reds.com/freeagent.
That was a solid read.
Thank you very much.
Nicely done.
Thank you.
Can you give me a thank you?
Thank you.
In honor of Tom Brenneman, give me one more.
Thank you. Thank you, Tom.
Jim Day trying to hold down the chair tonight. Tom Brenneman under the weather. Tom, if you're at home and you're watching, you're a tough act to follow. But get well soon. Try to hold down this chair in the meantime. And Bronson Arroyo trying to hold down this Phillies lineup, and he's facing the man that did the damage. A 2-run home run back in the 4th. That man, the menacing Ryan Howard. We're in the 6th inning. 2-0 Phillies. Bronson Arroyo, the rock and roll kind of guy. I noticed that they were playing 38 Special earlier, Cowboy. Had you swaying in your chair.
It was the first concert that I ever went to.
Really?
I don't even think I knew what a concert was. be honest with you.
Do you have a date to that concert?
I did. That's the only reason I went.
Yes, sir. 2-1 pitch. And there for a strike. Bronson Arroyo. His favorite band is my favorite band. That would be Pearl Jam. There's your minutia for the night. Strike 3 call, and this time he gets Howard.
Great comeback from being down in the count 2-0. Howard obviously does not like the call on the pitch. But then again, maybe he should face Roy Halladay.
Second strikeout of the night for Arroyo, and 1 down here in the 6th. Speaking of Pearl Jam, I'll never forget the day that he came to this ballpark. It was when Jose Cardinal was one of the coaches for the Reds. Eddie Vedder grew up in Chicago and idolized Jose Cardinal. So he flew in just to toss, just to have a toss, have a catch with Jose Cardinal. Then he went into the Reds clubhouse, and I believe it was Juan Castro that had a guitar. Someone had an acoustic guitar, and he sat down and put on a little mini concert for the Reds. It was cool. It was Juan Castro's guitar.
Wow.
He played some Beatles songs that day.
What's the dude's name?
Eddie Vedder, the lead singer of Pearl Jam. And Bronson finally got to see Pearl Jam last year up in Columbus. And he took him a jersey. Deep drive, right center field, and that one is gone off the bat of Hunter Pence. His 17th home run of the season. And the Phillies have a 3-0 lead.
Well, we have seen Hunter Pence go after those pitches up in the strike zone, but you've got to get it up higher than the neck. This pitch is about hands high as you see the ball come through, and he tomahawks it. We saw the pitch earlier that he hit that he tried to tomahawk. That pitch was closer in. That one was out over the plate, and he just went into launch mode.
There's a single into right field. The Phillies with 1 on, 1 out, and a 3-0 lead. Man, you got to be strong to go up and get that bat.
Not only do you have to be strong, but you have to be a good high ball hitter. That means you have to look for the ball up in that area and be able to get on top of that ball, and that's exactly what Hunter Pence did there. Not many players can get on top of that ball. A lot of players, that's just a pop up in the infield.
Phillies are going for it. Mid-season trade to get Hunter Pence from the Astros. They gave up some quality prospects to do it. He was what many called the prize catch of that trade deadline, and the rich got richer. Phillies mean business. Another single into right field. So Arroyo with some trouble here in the 6th. Giving up a home run and now back-to-back singles.
This ball appeared to be 6 inches off the plate when Ruiz made contact. Look where this ball is at. I mean, we're talking right out here when he made contact with the baseball.
And here comes pitching coach Brian Price. Action in the Reds pen. Righty Logan Ondrusik is up. Royal sitting on 89 pitches. And Price wants to talk it over.
Well, I don't know that it's the pitch count as much right now as it has been execution. And I think when you go up on a batter, you can't go up and away, especially to a guy that can handle that high fastball as Hunter Pence can. You have to go up, and it's got to be closer to him. so that he jams himself as he goes after the pitch. But when you start seeing some of their lower level hitters, or I don't mean to discredit the hitters, but just lower in the lineup hitters starting to hit pitches that are off the plate, that means you better get that bullpen up in a hurry.
Chopper, Cairo's got it, drops it, and everyone's going to be safe. E5 and the bases are loaded.
That was going to be, I think, a routine double play, and Cairo caught it with one hand, and as he tried to transfer the ball into his throwing hand, he lost it.
Fourth error of the season for Miguel Cairo. And now the bases are juiced with one out and Roy Halladay. First pitch swinging and down the right field line. This will do some damage. 1 run scores, 2 runs score. They're waving around a third runner. A bases clearing double by Roy Halladay. Ouch. As you would say, right down
Broadway. Just throwing a fastball right in the middle of the plate. And in that situation, you're really looking more for a double play there than you are anything else. And fastball, not normally your double play pitch. But
Dusty Baker is making a pitching change. It's our Skyline call to the bullpen as Andrusik comes in. The Phillies doing damage. Bases clearing double by Roy Halladay, and Bronson Arroyo is out of the game. Cowboy, Phillies have beat him up this year.
well, they have, and you had a chance to get out of the inning with the ground ball there, and it didn't happen. And this is not a club you can give more than 3 outs to in an inning at any time.
So it's back to the top of the order for Logan Andrusik. Shane Victorino stepping in, and that one high, and Halladay is on to third base. Wild pitch. Yonder Alonso's coming to left. Sorry, Cowboy, and the double switch. And the big righty on the hill.
Since Andrusik has come back from the disabled list, just doesn't seem as though he is anywhere near as sharp as what he was early in the season.
That one misses big time. So he's down 2-0.
Well, he was very much a go-to guy early in the season. He spent the majority of the season with his ERA under 2, a lot of the season with it closer to 1.
Fouled back. Still only 1 out in the inning. Roy Halladay had only 6 RBIs in his career before tonight, and 3 on 1 swing of the bat in this game. His first 3 RBI game of his career. Well, the old left-hander used to say, swing the bat, you're dangerous.
Well, we talk about that all the time, that if you make contact, you can make good things happen. Strikeouts don't help anybody except the pitcher on the mound.
Two-two pitch. Hopped him up. Votto in foul territory for the second out. So Bronson Arroyo out of this game. Halladay is his responsibility. And it has not been a good year against the Phillies. Back on May 23rd, he went just 2 2/3 innings, 9 earned runs in that one. It was a 10-3 Reds loss. But in fairness, there have been many pitchers struggle against this lineup. Record-wise, you're talking about the best team in baseball. They can pitch, they can hit, they've got veterans, they've got a manager that is entrenched in that dugout. That one just foul.
But realistically, here in 2011 for this club, they really got a lot better when they added Hunter Pence.
Yep.
They got a lot better offensively, I'm talking about. I mean, they have been an awfully good team, because Chase Utley is not near the same player that he was early in his career. Shane Victorino, that you see there, has had a wonderful year. Jimmy Rollins has been out for quite some time with a groin injury and may still be out for some more time.
Yeah, think about that. You got this lineup, and then you're going to add Jimmy Rollins at some point, and you don't have to rush him back.
No, and they're not going to.
Yeah.
I mean, the word that I've gotten from them.
Cairo's got it for the 3rd out, but not before the Phillies put a 4 spot on the board, and they lead 6-0. Cam, 2 long balls. Ryan Howard, 2-run job in the 4th. Hunter Pence, solo shot in the 6th. That was the Coors Light Freeze Cam, brought to you by Frost Brewed Coors Light. Let's check in on our AT&T trivia question of the night. What was the last team with 3 qualifying pitchers with an under 2.80 ERA? And the survey said the 1985 Los Angeles Dodgers. Fernando Mania, Fernando Valenzuela, Oral Hershiser, and Bob Welch. Cowboy, they could bring it.
Yes, they could. And they were together for some time.
Yes, they were. In steps Yonder Alonso, inserted into the game on that double switch when Arroyo came out of the game. And once again playing left field. Grounder to second. Easy out. 15 straight retired by Roy Halladay. Reds have 1 hit, and it's from this guy. And it was the first batter of the game. He walked Votto in the 1st, gave up a single to Phillips in the 1st. Those are the only base runners for Cincinnati. Halladay worked off that so-called rust and is dealing. And I imagine about now the Reds are having nightmares supplied by that no-hitter that he put on them in the playoffs. That was something to watch. Unfortunately, the Reds on the bad end of it. But man, was he obviously on that night.
You know, the thing that's ironic about this ball game is Brandon Phillips comes to the plate and takes care of any chance of a no-hitter right off the bat.
Yeah, 13-game hit streak for him. Including 8 multi-hit games, but since the first, nada. Nothing for the Reds. Halladay also with 6 strikeouts. And Phillips, part of that nightmare, he made the last out in that no-hitter in the NLDS. That was a tough one. Phillies won 4 straight. 3 straight, excuse me. Ben.
It's just crazy that it came on Roy Halladay's first ball game ever in the postseason.
Yep.
So you know he was hyped, and he had to have a little bit of nerves going.
Only the 2nd no-hitter in MLB postseason history. It's game 1 of the National League Divisional Series. Right back at Halladay for the 2nd out. This was something to behold. October 6th of last year, 9 innings pitched, not a single hit, walked only 1 batter, 8 strikeouts. And as we said, Phillips, the last man to go down. He came within a walk of a perfect game. Don Larson, the only other guy, postseason no-hit. Here's Renteria. Flew out in the 1st, grounded out in the 3rd.
And you go back and you look at all of the numbers that the Reds put up offensively last year, and going into the postseason, I don't know that there were too many teams that could match up with the Reds from a hitting standpoint and still could not get a hit off of it.
17 in a row retired by Halliday.
Children's ranks 3rd in the nation on U.S. News and World Report's honor roll for Best Children's Hospitals 2011. By your Cincinnati Northern Kentucky Honda dealers. Visit mycincinnatihondadealer.com for current offers. And by Wendy's. You know when it's real.
Catch all the action this season in a perfect party atmosphere on the Cincinnati Bell Riverboat deck at Great American Ballpark. Enjoy panoramic views of the Ohio River and the ballpark from this 2-story outdoor party area located high above the center field wall. Call the group sales department at 513-765-7600 to book your party. It's a great view out there. One of the best.
Well, it's not high above the center field wall because there have been a few baseballs that have actually hit the railing of the riverboat. So it's maybe, what would you say? Maybe not high, but what would be another adjective that you could use for riverboat? Perfectly placed?
I was just going to say perfectly placed to just give you a phrase. Chase Utley pops it up. Edgar Renteria, first out of the inning.
Perfectly placed above center field. How about that?
That is a beautiful description.
I'm going to fix that read or whatever that thing was you were doing.
You can read it next time.
Might do that.
I talk enough. You know, that riverboat deck was not part of the original Great American Ballpark. And when the Castellini group came in and took over lead ownership of this club, particularly Phil Castellini, added that boat and really added to this ballpark.
Well, it just signified the fact that this stadium sits on the river. You've got riverboats going up and down the river all day. Nobody else has it. It's pretty cool.
It really is. And it is one of the best views in the park. I'm not just saying that. It really is something.
I didn't think it would be that great of a view when I first thought about it, about going when we were going out there. And then once being out there, I realized that's a big time view.
Logan Ondrusek gets Ryan Howard swinging. Second strikeout of the night for Howard, but he's also got that 2-run home run. Come on with it, Riverboat. Look at that gorgeous shot of the Queen City in the background. The big ballpark by the river. Two down here in the 7th on Drusick versus Hunter Pence. Pence with the 17th home run of the season last time up.
On a fastball about neck high out over the plate. Just chopped it out of here. You see how choked up he is on the bat when you watch Pence hit. See how far he's choked up. That means you can throw him off speed stuff inside and he's just going to pull it foul. Because he's so quick inside, you're very rarely going to rush a fastball by him. But if you throw a split finger or a sinker inside, he's going to pull it over there in the third base dugout.
I like this guy. He's a ball player. He's one of those, I'm getting my uniform dirty every night at some point. It might not be dirty right now. By the end of this, I bet it is. Old school, got the high socks.
Just plays hard on every pitch. Doesn't take a pitch off.
He's a battler. He's a hustler. He's just a ball player. I mean, there's some guys you can just call, hey, he's a ball player, and you know what you're talking about.
I like to. I was talking with my wife the other night. We were talking about different players, and I said, now that guy right there, I'd like to have him in my foxhole.
Yep.
And she said, you mean like a war foxhole? And I'm like, what other foxhole is there? I said, that's the kind of guys that you want to play with. You want to play with the guys on your team that you know that if they have your back and you're back to back, they're not going to give up and go down without a fight.
3-2 pitch, single in the left field. He might try for two. Thought about it. Pence is on. Second hit of the night.
See the breaking ball here. It's going down, but it stays in the heart of the plate. If that ball is on the outside corner, you get Pence to hit it off the end of the bat. You can see the lunge. He didn't hit it well, but that's the difference between the ball being in the middle of the plate and the ball being on the outside corner.
2 outs, 1 on for Raul Ibanez. Ibanez fouled out the second, and then back-to-back singles in the 4th and in the 6th. He was aboard when Roy Halladay cleared the bases. 3 RBI double. And Andrusik down 2-0 in the count.
Andrusik just needs to slow himself down a little bit. His mechanics are getting a little bit too quick, trying to add a little extra to his fastball. I know he feels like he doesn't have much on the ball because of the fatigue in his arm, but that's when you really slow your mechanics down and drive the ball to the plate. Even Hannigan, you can see Hannigan pushing his hands down towards the ground. Slow down, just stay back.
He needs a strike here, and he gets it.
Stay back on that back leg as long as you can and ride it to the plate.
Andrusik, his second inning of work. There's a deep drive, and that is trouble. That is a 2-run home run. And the Phillies continue their onslaught It's 8-0. Number 17 of the season for Ibanez.
And you could see it all the way in the mitt of Ryan Hannigan. He had his mitt down and away, and as he was reaching back across to try to catch the baseball, the ball didn't quite get to the mitt. The bat got in the way.
First pitch swinging is Carlos Ruiz. And on the warning track, Bruce has it. But not before more damage. Phillies up big time. Columbia to face the 21st ranked Mizzou Tigers at noon. Then at 7, University of Cincinnati Bearcats kick off their season. And the Austin P Governors roll into Nippert Stadium. It's all the action right here on Fox Sports Ohio.
The Governors.
Governors. Is that how they say that down there in Mississippi?
Governor. What are we going to do about this deficit?
Well, Joey Votto says, how about a leadoff double? Reds need some runs, and they need them in a hurry. Leadoff double here in the 7th.
That looked like a breaking ball that he was trying to get down and in on Votto, and that one stayed in the heart of the plate.
Joey Votto safe at 2nd. Safe and secure. New York life. So Halladay had retired 17 straight for that double. And in steps Jay Bruce. Strike one. Halladay has 7 strikeouts on the night. His last 6 have been looking.
Well, that's when you know you're on your game. When you're striking out batters and they're looking, that means you are really setting up the strikeout pitch on the pitch before.
That means you are mastering the Louisiana breakdown. Come on.
He definitely has mastered that. He's mastered a lot of things.
And can you explain what the Louisiana breakdown is one more time for the folks
For the folks that don't know.
Yes, sir.
That's when you throw that curveball and it breaks off the table. Ow, that's going to hurt.
So Halladay hits Bruce. 2 on and nobody out. This will leave a mark.
Trying to throw that slider down and in that he got Bruce with earlier, and he catches his back leg, even though Bruce tried to get it out of the way, couldn't get it there. That curveball that you're talking about, the old Louisiana breakdown?
Yeah, sir.
That one starts up there around Memphis and drops straight down. Finishes somewhere right around New Orleans.
New Orleans? I can't even say it.
Drops straight.
Nolans.
Now you're starting to see a little bit of fatigue factor in Roy Halladay. Breaking ball is not breaking. Sinker not sinking.
He just threw his 87th pitch.
And it's not the fatigue factor as far as his body. It's the rust we were talking about from not having pitched.
Look out.
If you're Roy Halladay, most of the time you don't have to force any pitch. You're nice and loose. You have your mechanics. You just reach out and make your pitch. Well, the last pitch that he just threw to Miguel Cairo, that was a forced pitch.
2-1 pitch. And he runs it to 3-1. Red's trying to dent the plate for the first time. Here he comes. Out of play. Gone full. Phillies are 20-6 in Halladay's 26 starts. So he has not lost often. Charlie Manuel, one of the good guys in the game. He can match your southern draw.
He does have a little bit of it.
Yes, he does. Virginia native. And Pete Buchanan, his bench coach, sitting right next to him. Former Reds interim manager. He's the one in the glasses there. Pete Buchanan was one I enjoyed him when he was a Reds interim skipper.
Good guy.
Strike 3 swing. His 8th strikeout of the night.
This is all Halladay did here, was just take something off the fastball. He's having difficulty getting the slider to snap down and away. He hit Jay Bruce with a breaking ball. He hung a breaking ball to Joey Votto, so he says, forget the slider for now. I'm just going to go fastball and change up. He speeds up the bat enough of Cairo to get him to look fastball, and then he just drops that changeup in there.
Drew Stubbs flew out twice to center field.
Started Stubbs with the changeup.
In there for a strike. We're even up 1-1. Halladay 15-5 on the season. And with an 8-run lead, has eyes set on his 16th victory, unless the Reds can rally and rally big time. They need a hit here. He is just fooling batter after batter.
Well, he's just throwing strikes. Those are 2 fastballs that are right in the heart of the plate.
2-2 pitch. Down low.
Problem is, Jim, early in the ball game where he's starting those pitches now, earlier in the game, they had enough rotation. They were sinking. Now they're staying true and staying straight.
Payoff pitch, and he walked him. First walk of the night for Halladay. And no one throwing in the Phillies' pen. Excuse me, that's the second walk of the game. My mistake. He walked Joey Votto in the first. So the Phillies want to talk it over. Rich Doobie, the pitching coach, out to talk to Halladay. Doobie in his 7th season as the pitching coach for the Phillies. And how would you like to be him? Here you go. We got Halladay. We've got Cliff Lee for you. We got Roy Oswalt in the stable.
He didn't always have those guys, though.
This is true. He's done a good job.
And his responsibility is not just to keep the big boys on base and keep them doing what they do best, but also to bring the guys along like Ryan Madsen, Worley, Michael Stoops, Bastardo that we saw last night, and make sure that they are paying attention to the guys that are pitching today.
Todd Frazier pinch hitting in the pitcher spot. Bases loaded, 1 out. Gets away from Ruiz, but not far enough for Votto to think about coming. A big moment for Todd Frazier. Was that the Louisiana breakdown?
That was a slider there, but it definitely fooled Todd Frazier.
76-mile-per-hour pitch. That's just not fair.
Frazier was looking in, and the ball broke away.
Got him looking.
And that one started away and broke back in.
9th strikeout. It goes from 76-mile-per-hour pitch to a 92-mile-per-hour pitch.
He just makes X's on the plate. He takes one pitch and does it this way, and the other pitch does it that way, making X's on the outside corner. And if you're a hitter, you don't know if it's coming to you or going away. You're just stuck in the middle of that X, and you just got X'd out.
And a further indoctrination to the big leagues. Welcome to the show, Todd Frazier. You just saw perhaps the best pitcher in the game. 2 outs now for Ryan Hannigan. Bases loaded. Halladay trying to preserve the shutout. Reds finally making him work. 26th pitch of the inning coming up. And here it comes. We're even up 1-1. One pitch. Good eye. .106 pitches overall for Halladay.
And I think Hannigan is going to do everything that he can to try to get a pitch that he can get the barrel of the bat to.
Brad Lidge warming up in the bullpen for the Phillies.
Lidge has gone from closer, to set up man, and now set up man in the 7th inning, with Madsen being the 9th inning guy right now.
Madsen closed it down last night.
And Contreras, who just had some surgery, I believe, had it earlier.
Ground ball to third. Bobbled. Gets the out at second. Close play, but Halladay gets out of it. Hard blast. He went up and got it. Tomahawk chopped that bad boy right out of here. Hunter Pence, solo home run in the 6th. Part of the 8-run onslaught by the Phillies. Dave Chappelle into the game. He's in center. Todd Frazier stays into the game. He's at third. And Sam LeCure on to pitch. And Cowboy, I know that boy, he started the season off very well. Actually started the season off starting. Went into the pen as a long man. He's been a long man. He's been a setup man. Of late, his numbers not quite what they were. But I know you like this guy because he's a battler. Well, doesn't have overwhelming stuff, but he comes at you.
Well, he knows how to pitch, and that's one of the key ingredients of success up here. He's got good enough stuff from a big league perspective to get people out on a regular basis, especially in the role that he has defined for him right now. He had the one game in Chicago where he gave up the 5 runs when they were trying Alonso in left field, and he had that tough ball game. Other than that, he has been lights out. I mean, he's had stretches where he was a 22, 23 ball games where his ERA was below 1.5.
Yep. He's working against Wilson Valdez. Valdez struck out in the 3rd and reached on an error in the 6th, which turned out to be a big error. It was an error by Miguel Cairo. Could have been a double play ball. Could have got the Reds out of that 6th inning. And it set up Roy Halladay's bases clearing double. Shot right at Frazier. Nice pickup. Pretty play. 1 out. It's the time of year again. Time to vote for the next Reds Hall of Fame inductee during the month of August. Be a part of the 2012 Reds Hall of Fame fan vote. Sponsored by CincinnatiFavorites.com. Pick up a ballot at the ballpark, Montgomery Inn, a participating Skyline, or log on to RedsMuseum.org. Vote now for the next Reds Hall of Fame inductee. And one of those players you can vote on is sitting to my right. the Cowboy, Jeff Brantley. And I know it's just an honor just to be on that list.
Yeah, you got that right.
You're joining Sean Casey, John Franco, Danny Graves, Hal Morris, Paul O'Neill, Reggie Sanders, Scott Sullivan. You can be heard, fans. Reds Hall of Fame and Museum. If you haven't been there,
You ought to go.
Man, what a treat.
Especially with all the Johnny Bench stuff right now. Truly amazing.
Pinch hitter here. Halliday's night is done. Ross Glode, left-handed hitter at the plate. So Halliday goes 7 strong. Just 2 hits, no runs.
About that 7th inning, bases loaded, and he comes back with a couple strikeouts, and then the fielder's choice off the bat of handing it.
Blow with a shot to Votto. Over to LeCure. 2 outs.
It's the one thing that I don't think a lot of people have thought about this, but if you're Cliff Lee, Cole Hamels, or Roy Halladay, yeah, you're fighting for position to get into the playoffs. You want to have home field advantage, all of those things that go with the team factor. But there's also another factor involved, and that's the Cy Young. And all 3 of those guys are going to have high consideration for that award. And when you go out there, and that is the extra momentum for all of these guys when they're in the 8th, 7th inning, 9th inning with the bases loaded, and they know they've got to push it to that next level. That's that one motivation that carries them right over the top. It was never talked about in Atlanta with Smoltz, Glavine, and Maddox, but it's talked about now because they wanted to beat each other not only on the baseball field or on the golf course, they wanted to beat each other in checkers.
Halladay trying for his 3rd. The reigning Cy Young Award winner. .3-0 to Shane Victorino. St. Louis and Milwaukee playing tonight. They're scoreless in the 5th. Washington all over Atlanta 9-2 in the 8th. Pittsburgh with a 1-0 lead on Houston. Bottom of the 5th.
Tell you what, Washington is not too far away from having an awfully good ball club. They are really starting to put the pieces together offensively and pitching wise to really start to bring this club around to where they need to be.
And they're going to get Steven Strasburg back. Davey Johnson announced today that he will make his 2011 debut on September 6th. Coming back from Tommy John surgery as LeCure walks Victorino. So you get him back. I know the numbers aren't what they're looking for in the minor leagues, but those numbers don't matter. It's just getting that arm healthy
and stretched back out.
Yep.
And the only way that you can truly stretch out your arm to its maximum place where you need to be is by pitching in the big leagues with big league adrenaline in a big league game. Not out of the bullpen, not long tossing, not any of that minor league stuff. You got to get up here where it matters.
High ball center field. Sapelt.
Nice
sliding catch. Nice play. The Reds get out of the 8th. They need some runs in a hurry. hot dog play of the game. In the 5th, Polanco fighting off the fans and making a pretty play. Knocked the guy down, made sure he was okay. Everyone okay? And Polanco, pretty play. Tonight's Mega Millions jackpot, $21 million. Brought to you by the Ohio Lottery. Play today.
Not only did Polanco headbutt that guy and knock him backwards and get the ball, he leaned over and asked him if he was okay. Yeah, okay, there we go. Don't steal the ball from me.
So here's Yonder Alonso. Came into the game on a double switch when Bronson Arroyo was lifted. Brad Lidge, as you said, has been a closer. Now he's a setup guy. He's been up and down, to say the least, in his career.
He really has. I mean, he has done a lot. Had a lot of chances to do a lot. And I don't know that it'll ever register with anyone why he throws 90% breaking balls when he has a fastball that is 96 miles an hour. But that's just how he's always pitched.
Yonder Alonso got his first big league start at third base last night. Not a single ball hit to him. He's in left. Right now. Right now he's at the plate, but he's playing left field. Brandon Phillips on deck. One of 2 hits for Cincinnati. And we've seen it a lot from Yonder Alonso. He had a tough night last night at the plate in the starting role. But just passing the eye test, he gets it. His approach at the plate, he has a terrific eye at a young point in his career.
Well, I don't think there is ever going to be a question of whether Yonder Alonso will be successful hitting here in the big leagues. I foresee him being a power hitter, a hitter for average. He's going to walk a lot because of the fact that he hits with power and he doesn't swing at a lot of balls. So that's going to take him to a place where they're going to have to pitch to him because he's not going to strike out a lot. He will be a middle of the order hitter.
This is trouble. 6. Utley drops it, but gets it back. Tried to barehand that ball. Bad throw to second base by Valdez. A picture-perfect double play ball, but Phillies only get 1.
Well, you have to remember that with the knee of Chase Utley, he is going to come across the bag or get himself out of the way of the bag of the runner every time he comes to second base. And he was coming across the bag there, and the throw was behind the bag.
1-on-1 out for Edgar Renteria. Got some tweets today wondering about Chris Heisen. He is back with the club tonight because they simply gave him a day off. He's been rehabbing that strained left oblique with Louisville. And the number's not necessarily there. There's a hot shot to the shortstop and gloved by Valdez. Second out of the inning. There's Chris Heisen. They simply gave him the day off from Louisville. Hit a home run last night for the Bats. He will play for Louisville tomorrow in hopes of returning here on the 1st in a couple of days. So he says, told me before the game, feels 100%. When you're out for 3 or 4 weeks, it's tough to get your timing back. Again, the numbers don't matter down there. It's just getting healthy. He says he's ready to go. Phillips is running, and Votto with a hot shot into right field. Phillips on to third. Reds have first and third and 2 down. Second straight hit for Joey Votto. He has 2 of the Reds' 3 hits. And in steps Jay Bruce.
Well, you'd like to see the Reds break through here. And don't go into tomorrow with a 0 or a goose egg on the board.
Bruce 0 for 2. Struck out, grounded out, hit by a pitch in the 7th.
You know, Jim, I don't think any club, whether it's 1-0 or 50-0, I don't think you ever want to get shut out.
No. Lidge even up 1-1. Inside. You're right about that. They don't want a goose egg up there. I mean, they might not come back and win this game. It would take a monumental comeback, but you certainly don't want to get shut out, even if you're playing tiddlywinks.
No.
Is it possible to get shut out in tiddlywinks? I've never played.
I don't think so.
Two pitch. Got him. Red Strand 2 more. All Philadelphia. Of the game, and this one hurt. When the pitcher gets you, you know it's not your night. Roy Halladay, bases clearing double, happened in the 6th. And Mama said there'd be nights like this. Check out our Meyer text poll results of tonight. Which team will make it to the World Series from the National League? 55% of you say this team right here, the Philadelphia Phillies. Hey, baseball fans, now it's your chance to enter to win a Fox Sports Ohio Meyer prize pack. Text the word Meyer to 37664 now to be entered. And good luck.
You notice that the numbers fared stronger against the pitchers, obviously, the pitching team here with the Phillies, but also quite a few votes for the probably best hitting team amongst that group, and that would be the Brewers.
Yep. Like we said, it's going to be an interesting playoff scenario.
Oh, I think
both leagues.
I think the Brewers really need to have a healthy and ready to perform Ricky Weeks in order to do what they do best, and that's score runs in big time bunches.
Yep.
Because with him leading off the ball game, you are being careful right out of the gate. And it puts you on the defensive as a pitcher.
You've got Greinke, you've got Markham. You wonder what those guys will do in the playoffs. Then you've got
Gallardo.
Yeah.
Gallardo's throwing the ball very well.
Yep.
You're only going to need 3.
And you've got a meat of the order. 2 guys that are both legitimate National League MVP candidates, in Ryan Braun and Prince Fielder. Did he hold up on that pitch?
The pitch was a strike.
Not according to home plate umpire Ron Buck. Mercy.
I thought they got plenty of the plate.
Two pitch. Nice play by Votto. Robs Utley. Pretty play.
Went right back in there. And Utley opens that front foot up and hit a frozen rope down there to Votto. Good thing they make those first baseman's mitts a little extra large.
Tell you what, he's worked so hard at first base. When he first came up, it was a rough go at times. He is an above average first baseman. No question about it.
I think that's the one thing that you can get better at in this game. And there's certain places that you can get better. One of them is catching the baseball and playing your position better. But that is about repetition. The more repetitions you have, the better off you are. But that takes work and sweat equity. Same thing goes with hitting the baseball.
Yep. Well, no one works harder on this team.
If you have the ability to hit the baseball and get to this point, then you have the ability to get better if you work at it in the right way. Now, that doesn't mean that you can show up every day at 4 o'clock, throw on your batting practice uniform and jog out just in time to make stretching.
Well, that's not number 19, that's for sure.
You're right.
You try to get an interview with Votto, and he's hard to get. Not necessarily because he doesn't want to talk to you. It's because, where's Joey? He's in the cage. Where's Joey? He's watching video. Where's Joey? He's in the weight room. Where's Joey? He's in the training room, putting heat on his back. Where's Joey? He's out there taking ground balls.
Well, that's the one thing that I noticed about Yonder Alonso right away. Taking fly balls out there in left field, and then when they started talking about third, well, he's taking them in both spots.
Yep. Well, I've seen him many days where he'll go out to left field and take fly balls from Billy Hatcher.
I know.
Run into the clubhouse.
Get another glove.
Get his glove, maybe change his shirt,
and
head right
third.
back out to third base and work with Chris Spire.
I've seen it too.
A terrific young man.
Well, he's just got a great work ethic. I think that's what makes him who he is.
And if he doesn't succeed defensively, it won't be for a lack of trying.
Right. And I think that he will. I think he's going to work hard enough, especially over there at third base, where he's going to be fine.
Because he's much more comfortable there. Talked about it many times.
And he is as confident a hitter as you're going to see. And from a pitcher standpoint, you can see that in their eyes.
3-2 to Ryan Howard. Out back. I did an interview with him, which you're going to see the feature coming up on the next road trip. And he talked about when his family defected from Cuba. And I got to tell you, it's going to be a good feature, not because I'm doing it, because of what he told me.
It's
he
strong.
literally teared up
It's strong.
and started crying during the interview.
I know. I've had that same talk with him on the Caravan. It blew me away.
Talking about what his parents did and the sacrifice they made leaving Cuba and having to say goodbye to his grandparents and never see him again,
And know
so their son and daughter could have a better life.
And know that they were coming here with absolutely nothing. No friends, no family,
Nothing.
no place to live, no nothing.
Lived in a one-room apartment. Father worked 3 jobs. His mom worked 2 just to give their kids a better life. And Ryan Howard's done it again. Mercy me, a 2-home run night. Number 29 on the season. And a 9-0 Phillies lead.
Well, he breaks through the 100 RBI plateau in style.
28th multi-home run game of his career. And if he keeps it up, it'll be a career which quite well could land him in Cooperstown. He's that good. Man, this Phillies team is good. Understatement of the century. Hunter Pence. 1 on here in the 9th. I want to get this in. Reds Community Fund needs your help out there. For those of you on Twitter, and I know you used to be on Twitter, Ken, but you have till midnight tomorrow night to, every tweet you send out, basically use the hashtag, which is the #, basically. And if you're sending out a tweet, include hats off Cincinnati. That's hats off CIN. Now, whoever generates the most points, basically for each tweet you get a point. $50,000 will be donated to the Reds Community Fund.
Oh, wow.
As of today, the Giants and the Reds were neck and neck, within like 300 points of each other.
We got to win that.
We got to win that.
We got to win that race.
And we're
We got to win right now.
give me that again. Come on.
We got to win that race.
Come on with it, Elvis.
Thank you, brother.
And the donation will support reviving baseball in inner cities. That program here in Reds country, which has done such a tremendous job. I mean, the Reds Community Fund does a great job overall.
Well, the Reds know how to do it. I've been in both organizations. I know. I started as a Giant, and I'm a Red.
Well, out there in the Bay Area, that's the internet capital of the world. Let's face it. At least in this country.
Needless to say, folks, we need your help.
Hats off CIN. Again, it's the hashtag is what they call it. It's a # on your phone or on your keyboard.
So basically, you just send out a tweet and you include that.
You include that. If you, like, I've sent out a tweet, the Reds lineup, and I include the hashtag hats off CIN. You have till midnight tomorrow night.
Maybe you can do that on your.
I'm going to do it right now.
Why don't you do it right now? And
I'm going to send one out, a live tweet.
And then that way people will see what you're doing, and then they can copy yours.
How about I do that?
I think that'd be perfect.
For the Jaminians. You can follow Fox Sports Ohio, by the way, on Twitter. Fox Sports OH. Ground ball to third. Frazier has it.
All right, you're going to be able to get that thing done there?
I am.
Okay.
And you can follow me on there as well. I'm on there under Jim Day TV. If I can spell right. Typo action.
You can do it.
All right, this one says hats off CIN live tweet from the booth. Go Reds.
So
that's all you got to do.
So every time they send out a tweet, just include that in there.
You get a point. And they're neck and neck with the Giants, within hundreds of each other.
All right, let's go, folks. We know we can do this.
$50,000 donation. That can go a long way in reviving baseball in the inner cities.
Well, we don't want the Giants to beat us anyway.
No, and not in anything. Banez holds up. Two outs here in the top of the ninth. All Philadelphia.
And the amazing part of this ballgame all goes back to that, really that one play where you had the ground ball to third. We thought it was going to be a double play. The ball was bobbled, and then the next batter hits the ball down the right field line, clears the bases, and instead of 2-0, it ends up being a nightmare.
If the game was in reach, it was actually 3-0 at that point. Hunter Pence had just hit a solo home run. But your point being that the game was in reach,
yes,
and it completely opened up the game. It changed the way Halladay approached things. It changed the ball game completely around. LeCure in his second inning of work has thrown 40 pitches.
Well, you notice this veteran ball club of the Phillies, they don't give away at bats. Even if they're 5 for 5 on the day, they want to be 6 for 6.
Ground ball to short. Phillies are done in the ninth. The Reds need a large comeback. Doubleheader. First, Falcons take on the Bears, then the Giants take on the Redskins in D.C. Check local listings for games that may air in your area. Coverage begins Sunday, September 11th with the Built Ford Tough Fox NFL pregame show at noon. Bunch of zeros on the board for Cincinnati. And a new pitcher on the mound for the Phillies. He's Michael Schwimmer. And he just made his major league debut on August 21st at Washington. He had the undubious distinction of allowing a home run to the first batter he faced. As in, welcome to the big leagues. But turned around, retired 9 of the final 10 batters he faced.
Let's go ahead and get it out of the way.
Yeah, get her done.
Mike, did you say Michael Schwimmer?
I believe it's Schwimmer.
Schwimmer.
Sapel past the diving third baseman into left field for a hit.
Any relation to the
dude that was on Friends?
Yeah.
I don't think so.
All right, let's check. Never know.
Although I'll look into it.
You let me know.
Paul Giannis will hit for Sam LeCure. He's trying to get at least something here. By the way, congratulations to Neftali Soto. Carolina last night. At Montgomery belted his 30th home run of the season in Double-A. The first Reds farmhand since Adam Dunn in 01 to hit 30 or more homers in a single season. So how about another first baseman coming up through the pipeline? Pence, long run, but gets it.
See how fast he was on that ball in right field? The ball just hung up just a split second too long. 30 home runs in a minor league season.
Neftali Soto. 30 home runs.
How many bases has Billy Hamilton stole now? Is he over the 100 mark?
He has 95 stolen bases in 129 games. I think he got one last night. He's batting .274 with 95 thefts, 129 games. And he really started off slowly for the Dayton Dragons.
And he was under 180 for the longest time.
He's hitting .315 in the second half. 42 stolen bases. Now, I've not seen him in person. I've only seen him on video.
His manager is Delino DeShields. And I know Delino has had a big influence on this kid, helping him understand the way that you have to learn to play to be successful, not at A-ball, but in the big leagues.
Zabel goes to second base on the indifference. Soto had 5 home runs on June 22nd. Think about this. He had 5 home runs on June 22nd. He's hit 25 since.
Bring him up. Let's go.
Frazier down on strikes, and the Reds down to their last out. After every Reds game, stay with Fox Sports Ohio for Reds Live. Get complete highlights, full interviews from the stars of the game, and manager Dusty Baker. It's Reds Live postgame brought to you by Kings Honda and the Kings Auto Mall. Visit KingsHondaUSA.com. Jeff DeCoro standing by for that one. Billy Hamilton, they say that he is unbelievable to watch in the base paths. That a lot of people have never seen anyone so fast. And he said, I'm going for 100 stolen bases. He's got 95. He's still got some time to do it. And the Dayton Dragons continue just to pack them in.
Well, the
baseball organization of the year.
The Reds record is 98. I forget the young man's first name. I know his last name was Sambo. But I know that the 98 stolen bases is the record that Billy Hamilton is after.
Ramon would be his first name.
Ramon Sambo. But Hamilton has learned a lot about his game, not only fielding the baseball, swinging the bat, but reading the pitchers, because you know, Jim, as the season has gone on, early in the season, sure, hey, there's this kid over in Dayton, he's fast, he's stealing a bunch of bases, we got to make sure we hold him all a little better. All right, now he's stealing, every time he gets on, he's stealing second and third. We're stopping this. Now he's having to steal bases with everybody all over him.
Fly ball left field, and the Reds have been shut out. 9-0. Phillies win their second straight in as many games. And Charlie Manuel's gang puts a hurting on.
Well, Halladay pitched as well as any time we've ever seen him, and anything about rust or not having his best stuff on a given day, you can flush that right down the toilet, because he was about as good as it got, not only on the mound but swinging the bat as well. Heck, he had a double and drove in 3 runs.
More to come on Fox Sports Ohio. It's Reds Live postgame. Jeff Piccolo standing by.
Well, thank you very much, guys. Wow, the Philadelphia Phillies take the first 2 games of the series, and tonight a 9-0 whitewash. And boy, Roy Halladay didn't look like a guy that's thrown 5 innings in the last 2 weeks, did he? As he picks up yet another victory over the Cincinnati Reds. Coming up, it is Reds Live. We'll have highlights. We'll go inside. We'll hear from Dusty and much, much more. Philadelphia puts a ribbon on this one. 9-0. We'll be back to tell you all about it right after this. Stay with us.